So if you have this problem consistently, like i.e. we need more cash in the bank, what we need to do is deconstruct that and ask ourselves, okay, what's currently preventing us from getting that? What's the actual problem we're trying to solve? And the pattern that we can all identify is that we're busy working on things that aren't directly related to getting more cash in the bank. So what's interesting is there must be a belief underneath that, because otherwise, if there wasn't a belief preventing us from getting that, then we wouldn't have this problem, right? Does that make sense? Does everyone get that? Like, for every problem you have, there must be a belief that is creating that problem if it's a consistent problem. I'm not just talking about like this week, a client was a nightmare and something happened and we had to put out a fire and that was like a one-off. I'm talking about something where you're consistently like, this is a problem for me right now. So in this instance, the belief is that if people have already paid us money, then we need to give them and their priorities more attention than our own business or new business. So as long as we operate our business with that belief, then we will always prioritize that. And if that's always been prioritized, then we will never really feel like we've got enough time to work on our business and to do cash generating activities. So what we have to understand, right, is that every belief is linked to a result. Okay, so every belief that we have is linked to an outcome or a result. If the belief is that when people have paid you money, they become the priority, and that is currently creating the result of overwhelm, what belief would we need to have in order to have the opposite of that, which would be, I guess, kind of freedom or control? What belief would we need to have? Business first, client second. Yeah, absolutely. What would happen if we had the belief that our business, i.e. the health of our business, is the number one thing, is the most important thing, and everything else is secondary? I've heard, I've talked about this before, but it reminds me every time I get on an airplane. When they do this safety demonstration, you will have all heard this. They say, in the unlikely event that there is a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen masks will fall down in front of you. What is the next thing that they say? Exactly. Fit your own mask first before trying to help others. When your business becomes the priority, when your business is number one, you are able to have much more impact for other people. Because you only need to look at things like Maslow's hierarchy of needs to know that you can't self-actualize, you can't have your highest creative self if you are stressed and worried about money. What would you be doing differently in your business right now if you had an extra $100,000 to $200,000 in your bank account? I'd love to know from everyone, just genuinely curious, what would you be doing differently right now if you had an extra $100,000 to $200,000 in your bank account? I'd be rewarding highest performers. I'd give myself permission to actually just go and do something that I know gives me energy. I'd just do a project for a local NGO, so it'd actually fix a lot of my delivery problems. I'd just go on holiday. I'd hire talent. So look, I know we're not all here because we want to be multimillionaires and drive around in Ferraris and have super yachts. But cash solves lots of problems, right? There's a famous quote that's saying, money doesn't get rid of your problems, but it allows you to arrive at them in style. Basically, if you have money, you have leverage. So what about if we started thinking about cash and clients and business development in a different way? What about if we saw that as the oxygen of our business and we realized that without that, we don't have a business? How would that change the activities you do on a daily and weekly basis, if you really believe that? So what about if from today, we just all made a promise to ourselves that we were going to change our priorities? And we didn't just say it because like Matt told you to and it felt good on a call, but we actually shifted internally and made a decision that the most important thing is our business and everything else is second to that. And when we say our business, what we mean is healthy cash flow. What we mean is the right clients. What we mean is enough leads. What we mean is a happy team. What we mean is us being happy, stress-free, feeling good, being able to go out on our bike when we're not feeling creative today. Because if we really did that as the first port of call, I know things would change. And the reason I say that is because I've seen it so many times before. When you really start treating it seriously and you really start saying this is the only thing that matters. Because here's the thing, the harsh truth is that if you piss off your current clients, but you know you have the skills and the ability to go and get new ones, then it doesn't actually matter. Now, I'm not saying you should do that. I'm saying you should always strive to deliver really valuable work. And you should always strive to make the most impact. But rather than having to hang on to clients that don't serve you and work on projects that you're not 100% passionate about and that you're just doing because you're like, well, we need to pay the bills this month, because you've forgotten about business dev for the last 2 months, or you haven't put the systems in place, or you haven't done the things that you know need to happen in order to get that cash in the bank. Rather than all of those problems, you'd actually be able to pick and choose who you work with.